the big stories and excitement in the world of sport. Yes, we'll be doing boxing, table tennis, lawn tennis, and every other sport in between as we give you the king of sport of football in between with all the big exciting stories and transfer news for you to get to know. My name is Anthony Momo, the king of sport in full flight, and I've got the big stories. Let's start from the boxing ring where the big story is about Africans in the heavyweight division, and it goes to say that Martin Bakole has never been one to shy away from a challenge. The Congolese heavyweight champion has set his sights on two of the biggest boxing stars with Nigerian heritage, Efe Ajagba and Anthony Joshua. In a fiery social media video released on Monday, 6th January 2025, Bakole outlined his ambitions for 2025, vowing to knock out Ajagba and Joshua and solidify his place as the dominant force in the heavyweight division. This bold statement is part of Bakole's plan to first defeat Nigeria's Efe Ajagba in the IBF heavyweight title eliminator, and then move on to Anthony Joshua, whom he accuses of avoiding a potential matchup for years. Ajagba, who has a 20 fights with 1 loss and 14 knockouts, a native of Ugele in Nigeria, talking about Delta State there, has steadily climbed the heavyweight ranks and is now based in the United States. His only professional loss came against the Cuban standard boxer in the person of Frank Sanchez in 2021. While Ajagba remains a strong contender, many believe that Bakole has what it takes and has the tools to hand him a decisive defeat. Bakole has 21 fights and he has got 16 knockouts, and it's on that impressive 10-fight win streak since his loss to Mike Hunter in 2018. So it means Bakole is ready. His recent victories against high caliber opponents such as Gerard Anderson, Tony Yoka, and Carlos Takam have cemented his reputation as one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the division. So he's Bakole from Congo is ready to knock out Anthony Joshua and Efe Ajagba. But time will tell. It's done inside the ring, not outside the ring. But let's just to let you know that a risky fight it will be for Anthony Joshua. For Anthony Joshua, the timing of Bakole's challenge could be more precarious. The former two-time world champion who has been holidaying in Nigeria lately is still reeling from his shocking September 2024 loss to Daniel Dabos, who is a Nigerian also in which he was dropped four times before being stopped at Wembley Stadium. While Joshua has expressed his desire to rebuild and regain his status as top contender, a fight against Bakole would be a fraught with risk, according to an analyst by BoxingScene.com. It suggested that Bakole's confidence, power, and relentlessness approach make him a particularly dangerous opponent for a fighter in Joshua's position. While Bakole continues to campaign for a showdown with Joshua, the likelihood of such a fight remains uncertain. Hosting the fight in Nigeria, as Bakole suggests, would add another layer of emotional and professional complicity for Joshua, whose career has been under intense scrutiny in recent years. So should he take that fight, it's going to be a very, very tricky one. And bringing it back to Nigeria, that's going to put added pressure on Anthony Joshua, and Bakole from Congo is trying to do. But let's see how this fight is going to come running, because already we know that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are looking forward to that. right, welcome back from that quick technical break. We're still talking boxing, and like I said, it is going to be a very titanic battle, having 3 or 4 African heavyweights in that division. We've got Efe there, we've got Anthony Joshua, we've got Bakoli from Congo, and he is aiming to get the scarf of Anthony Joshua and Efe Ajagba, but that's going to be a very tall order. Already we know that everyone is waiting for that big fight between the 2 heavyweight champions from Britain, talking about Joshua taking on Tyson Fury. That fight has to go down first before there's a chance for the Congolese Martin Bakoli to take on Anthony Joshua, or Dana Dubos, who is another heavyweight champion who floored the person of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, in their last fight. So it's going to be a very titanic one, and like the footballscene.com analysis says, it's going to be a very dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua to agree to face Martin Bakoli of Congo, knowing fully well that his aggression, his power, his current form is amazing. 10 matches, fights, winning streak is a big confidence booster, and for Anthony Joshua, fighting Bakoli in Nigeria is going to be a very tricky one, because he's going to be under duress, knowing that he's fighting in front of Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians backing him. He cannot afford to lose that fight, so there's going to be added pressure and added also motivation for Anthony Joshua. So in the coming days and weeks and months in 2025, we're hoping to see a very titanic battle between these 4 heavyweight champions, Efe Ajagba, and also not forget Anthony Joshua, Martin Bakoli from Congo, DRC, and also the other heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois, all searching for that undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, which the man Alexander Usyk is holding currently from Ukraine. All right, from the world of boxing, let's look at other big stories making the rounds. Let's go to the round-legged game. You call it soccer, football, whatever name you like to call it. Let's let you know, one man is coming out from the dead. His name, Taiwo Awoniyi, is in the news this morning, as Taiwo Awoniyi came off the bench to score Nottingham Forest's last goal as they hammered the Wolves 3-0 at the Monolo on Monday night. The Super Eagles striker has battled with form and fitness in recent months. Awoniyi had also lost his place to red-hot Chris Wood in the team. Forest came into the match knowing that a win will see them draw level with the Gunners in second, and then took a 2-goal lead in the first half of the game. Meanwhile, Morgan Gibbs-White opened the scoring for the visitors after exchanging passes with Anthony Alanga, and Wood continued his rich vein of form in front of goal with a tap in just before the break. With the game all but won, Awoniyi rounded off the scoring from a squared ball and from James Ward-Prowse. And it is the 6th successive win for Forest, who now have 40 points and are only behind Arsenal on goal difference. Both teams are 6 points behind Liverpool. This sets the scene nicely for next Tuesday, when Forest welcome Liverpool, the league leaders, and it's going to be a very exciting one when Nottingham Forest hosts Liverpool in that very top of the table clash, and it's going to determine if Liverpool is going to continue being on top and for how long will they be, and it's also going to give a plus to Nottingham Forest. Are they likely to upstage Liverpool? That's going to be the big question when both sides meet. And we remember what happened when Leicester City did the unthinkable, winning the English Premier League. Can Forest do the same? Is the big question. All right, let's move on to another big story. Let's look at EA Sport. Yes, EA Sport FC Team of the Year. That's the big one. If you're a game player, if you play video games, then you must know EA Sport. It's a video game and it's all about football. But they've got their own awards. So let's let you know that Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman has continued his impressive form by earning a nomination for the EA Sport FC Team of the Year. The 27-year Atlanta star recently crowned the 2024 CAF Player of the Year. Is the only Nigerian male player on the 70-man shortlist. Lookman led Atlanta to the UEFA Europa League title with a hat-trick in the final and played a key role in Nigeria's journey to AFCON final. The 70-man list reads like who is who in world football, includes Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. The other African footballers on the list are 2024 CAF Player of the Year nominee Shiro Gurisi of Guinea, and Borussia Dortmund Wilfred Singo of Cote d'Ivoire. And we also have ASM Monaco and Mohamed Salah of Egypt and Liverpool. Meanwhile, Nigeria has 3 nominees in the women's category: Azizat Oshuala, Chiamaka Nnadozie, and Rasheedat Ajibade. Oshuala has 30. Who is 30 is a 4-time CAF Player of the Year award winner, while Nnadozie, who is 24, has been named Africa's best female goalkeeper in 2023 and 2024. Meanwhile, Ajibade, who is 25, is the current Super Falcons captain and star for Atletico Madrid female team. Other African women on the list are current CAF Player of the Year Barbara Banda of Zambia and Orlando Pirates Pride, and the Malawian Doe of Tabitha Chawinga of Lyon, and Timwa Chawinga of Kansas City. The shortlist for the EA Sports FC Team of the Year, both men and women, unveiled on Monday afternoon. With the nominees list includes over 200 names across, with voting now open for fans until Sunday, January 12th. Meanwhile, just to let you know, perennial award winners like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi are on the men's shortlist, in a list that is brimming with talent. The pair among 31 names in the attackers list that also features Liverpool's Egyptian king Mohamed Salah, Real Madrid Doe Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe, as well as in-demand Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres and Barcelona wonderkid Lamine Yamal, who leads up Euro 2024 with Spain, is joined by compatriot Rodri, with the Ballon d'Or winner heading the list of midfield nominees. The imperious Virgil van Dijk and robust Antonio Rodriguez are among the choices in defense, while Aston Villa's #1 and Argentina World Cup winner Emiliano Martinez is one of the 7 goalkeepers to vote for. Overall, there are 8 England international on the men's side, including Chelsea playmaker Cole Palmer, Real Madrid star Jude Bellingham, Bayern Munich star Harry Kane. All right, that's run by. Let's take you to the MPFL. Some big news coming out as we await the second stanza of the MPFL. Let's let you know that Shooting Stars technical advisor Gbenga Ogungbote has warned his players to expect a tough challenge in the second stanza of the 2024-2025 season of the MPFL. Ogungbote gave the warning after the team's resumption from New Year break. The veteran tactician said that his team will be battle ready to have a positive outing in the second half of the season. Meanwhile, Ogungbote says they do not need anybody to tell them that it is going to be a very tough second round, even though the first round was equally challenging, and spoke on their position in the first round, which surely attracts a lot of challenge. Talk Sports recalls that Shooting Stars finished at 3rd position at the end of the first stanza with 33 points, and that upsuiting, like they say, upsuiting, we expect them to give a very good account of themselves in the second stanza. Still talking MPFL news, let's just let you know that the Nigerian Premier Football League, MPFL, has announced a date for Eyimba's rescheduled fixtures. Reports say the People's Elephant match day 17 clash against Nasarawa United has been fixed for Wednesday, January 8th at the Eyimba International Stadium, Aba. That's tomorrow. Meanwhile, Eyimba's encounter with Kwara United, the Afonjo Warriors, will take place on Wednesday, January 15th. The game will be played at the Kwara Sports Complex in Ilorin. Eyimba are without a win in their last 7 matches in the league. Stanley Eguma's side occupying the 9th position on the MPFL table with 29 points. And so hopefully Stanley Eguma would start to swear his magic wand to turn around the fortunes of the People's Elephant. All right, still give you big stories. Let's take you to the transfer window. Lots of stories popping out. Let's take you to Belgium, where Club Brugge, yes, former club of Dan Omokachi, the Bull. Yes, Club Brugge is ready to sanction Rafael Onyedika's sale this month for 20 million euros. And TalkSport can tell you that the Belgian Pro League champions rejected Galatasaray's offer for the Nigerian international last summer. Meanwhile, Onyedika now has more admirers in England and Spain as the 23-year-old Super Eagles player has excelled once again for Nicky Hens' side this season. The midfielder's performance in the UEFA Champions League has also earned him more admirers. Meanwhile, Club Brugge signed an enterprising midfielder for €9 million from Danish outfit FC Midtjylland 3 years ago. All right, let's take you to Old Trafford and give you the big story concerning one woman who is so special to Red Devils fans, Manchester United fans. She worked in for Manchester United for 55 years and she's passed on, and yesterday was her funeral. So let's give you the story that as Sir Alex Ferguson rose to his feet, a little unsteady because he's old now, now having turned 83. On New Year's Eve, he sought out Robert Amorim and his players in the Manchester Cathedral and gave a little nod in their direction to say well done for their game against Liverpool. Good result yesterday by the way smiled Ferguson, impressed as the rest of us were at the 2-2 draw at Anfield on Sunday. Meanwhile, Kate will be happy. Yes, she will be happy wherever she is, even on the day of all days, the funeral of Kathleen Evelyn Phillips. Manchester United came first. She dedicated her life to the club, so why would Monday be any different? As Ferguson spoke, his words echoed around the spectacular Gothic cathedral. It was there that United paid tribute to George Best, Sir Bobby Charlton, which gives some indication as to the esteem in which Kate Phillips is held. Recalling his arrival in November 1986, Ferguson said, "You realize then that Manchester United was run by one girl." To appreciate United's love for the 85-year-old who passed away in early December after working for the club for 56 years, you will only have to look around the cathedral to see that Ferguson arrived with his former kitman, Albert Morgan. David Beckham was there, who flew into the country to spend few hours with Kate in her final days and posted a pungent photo of his tattooed hand in hers, walked in with his mom, Sandra. So it was a very historic day, a very touching one, as other members of the class of 92, including Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs, were all sitting together, dotted around were other members of Ferguson treble-winning squad. Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the babyface assassin who used to bring her bars of chocolate back from Norway, were all there to say goodbye to the special woman who was the receptionist at Old Trafford for 56 years. All right, before we go for a quick break, let's give you one story concerning one African star. Yes, he's a pharaoh. You know who I'm talking about. His name, Mo Salah. Yes, Mohamed Salah has hit out at Jimmy Carragher amid ongoing uncertainty over his future at Liverpool. Salah, who is 32, is one of the Reds' all-time greatest players, with the Egyptian having scored a remarkable 232 goals in 376 outings for the Reds. And since joining from Roma in 2017 for an initial £36.5 million fee, the forward has won 8 trophies at Anfield and remains integral to Arne Slot's side as they continue to impress so far this season. However, Salah's contract expires in the summer, and the Egyptian is yet to extend his deal, with speculations over his future currently a major talking point. And the forward has regularly provided cryptic answers when questioned over his future. In fact, earlier on Monday, Salah shared a photo of himself and Trent Alexander-Arnold deliberating over a free kick during Sunday's game, while Virgil van Dijk can be seen in the background. All 3 stars are out of contract at the end of the season, with progress yet to be made over their future. And Alexander-Arnold was even the subject of a £20 million bid from Real Madrid last week. The forward did not accompany the image with any caption, adding further intrigue. All right, let's take you to the Old Lady of Turin. Yes, we're taking you to Italy. And the big story coming from the Old Lady of Turin tells us that Juventus midfielder Douglas Luiz could return to the Premier League this month. As the Italian side monitored Joshua Zirkzee, the Brazilian is understood to have been offered to 2 top-flight sides plus Manchester City, and may be allowed to leave on loan with obligation to buy. Luiz moved from Aston Villa in the summer, but Juventus are looking to free up funds for a striker. They are keen on Manchester United Zexi, though he wants to fight for his place. So Juventus have asked about Randall Kolo Muani at Paris Saint-Germain on loan too. The France forward is a target for Tottenham and United and Villa also. United, however, who drew 2-2 with rivals Liverpool on Sunday, have cooled their interest in the Paris Saint-Germain star. Meanwhile, Zexi, has struggled for form at United since joining in the summer, scoring 4 goals in 28 games. He was booed off at Old Trafford when substituted during his side's 3-0 defeat by Newcastle last week. United could shift some players this window, while their neighbours, Manchester City, could be set to add as they try and save their season. Meanwhile, Lewis previously played for City between 2017 and 2019, but made his name at Villa before his move to the Old Lady of Turin in Serie A. All right, let's go for a quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be looking at some other big stories concerning Chelsea trying to do a re-sign of Michael Gui of Crystal Palace, and we also have some other big stories making the rounds, and one man who is good at talking sports, he's no other person but David, a long time, is warming up to get into action. Welcome back from the break. We're still talking sport and still hitting the transfer window. Yes, it's January and players are moving. Let's just let you know that Chelsea are exploring a return to Stamford Bridge for Crystal Palace defender Mark Guehi. Mail Sport has learned that mechanized plans have been put over a potential swap this month have taken place with the Selhurst Park Club, aware of Chelsea's interest following the injury to Wesley Fofana. The Blues are ready to bring in a new central defender with one option considered being recalling Trevor Chalobah from his loan spell at Palace. But Palace are also open to entering the transfer market with Guehi among the names towards the top of the list. The move would be complicated given Palace's desire to keep Guehi at the club and in the best case scenario persuade him to sign a new deal. However, given England international Guehi has just 18 months left on his contract, Palace's grip over their central defender's future is weakened. Meanwhile, Enzo Maresca is a huge fan of Guehi, who was excellent against Chelsea in their 1-1 draw between the two clubs on Saturday. Palace valued Guehi at around £70 million in the summer, but that asking price may have dropped given he can sign a pre-contract agreement with a foreign club in less than a year. Coincidentally, Chelsea could use Chalobah as a make-weight in any deal for Guehi. However, Mail Sport understands Palace will prefer a straight cash agreement for their centre back. Any move to Stamford Bridge for Guehi would also be complicated by the fact that Chelsea have to sell on a clause of between 17 to 20% after selling the 24-year-old to Palace in 2021. All right, I've got David a long time in the studios to help us look at these and all the big stories making it around. So welcome, good morning, and thank you for making it to the studios. All right, let's look at Chelsea trying to get a player that played for them in 2019 and trying to re-sign him from Palace. And Chalobah, first of all, was loaned to Crystal Palace. Do you think it was fair when Chelsea sent Trevor out on loan, because he was one of the best players at that time, and now wanting to sign a player in the same club they sent him on loan? What does that tell us?
Yes, it clearly shows that Chelsea lack defensive depth, you understand, in their lineup, you understand. So that's just clear to see, you understand. That's just clear to see, because if you check vividly, you understand, if you check very, very well, you understand that Chalobah was not actually doing very, very well in the club, you understand. He was not actually, you understand, progressing very well in the club. So it was really sad to see him go. But I think Mark Guehi, you understand, is actually one of the most sought out players actually in the Premier League defensively. Yes, because if you check during the summer of 2023, you can see that the likes of Newcastle are going tooth and nail to make sure that they get him in their squad, you understand, to strengthen their own squad depth. And now you can see that he is actually in form, you understand. He's actually playing well for Glassenstein, that's
Crystal Palace.
Hopefully, I think you'll get that big money move, anytime soon. And it's actually lovely to see. It's actually lovely to experience, coming in from the ranks of Chelsea and coming into Crystal Palace and actually making a name for himself and also in the England national team. And it would be nice to see him at least make a move this summer. This winter. And hopefully let's see what goes on for Mark Guehi.
All right, let's see what goes on. Let's give you more big stories and concerning transfer market and take you to Old Trafford. Let's let you know that Manchester United winger Anthony is wanted on loan by Olympiacos. Mail Sport understands that the Brazilian has not started a league game for United this season, but has found himself being used off the bench by Ruben Amorim. Erik ten Hag made Anthony his former charge at Ajax one of his first signings in 2022 in a mega £85.5 million move, but things have not gone to plan. Now, as Amorim continues to make his mark upon the United squad, clubs in Europe have become aware of Anthony's situation at Old Trafford, and the Greek side currently sit top of their domestic division, but would welcome the addition of the former Ajax man in January. Recently, Anthony's agent, Junior Pedroso, told Gilly Sport that his client is willing to go out on loan. Meanwhile, AC Milan are weighing up a loan move for Marcus Rashford, the striker who has been out of favour under Ruben Amorim and missed the midweek defeat to Newcastle through illness, is ready for a new challenge and is available this month. United ideally wanted to sell for £40 million, and that figure plus his wages over £325,000 a week the major stumbling block. United will consider loans with obligations to buy offers, and a number of clubs have expressed interest. Rashford has turned down approaches from Saudi Arabia and wants to remain in Europe to further his England career. Let's look at that talking point as regards to Rashford and Anthony. Anthony going to Olympiacos, would that be a good deal for him?
I think that's a very massive, deal for him, based on the fact that there's no big team in Europe that wants Anthony, given the fact that over the last 2 years he has not performed anything. You understand? If you check his stats the last 2 years since he came to Manchester United, you understand he has got a total of 5 goals and racked up a total of 3 assists, and that's very poor for a winger. You understand? If a total, even a season of over 38, you understand, to probably 68 games, you understand, you are racking up only five goals and 3 assists. It's a very poor form, and I think Olympiacos will be at least a very good fit for him. You understand, going to the Greece champions, at least to strengthen them and actually get his his confidence back. And I think that's a very good step for him. You understand, a smaller club like that in another country. You understand, will I think build his confidence back. Then speaking about Marcus Rashford, you understand, Marcus Rashford has to leave the Manchester United team because you could see that he's not actually needed in that team. You understand, he's not the one for what do you call it, Ruben Amorim. Yeah. So it's clear.
But is it a sad way for him to end his career at United?
It's not a sad way.
Because he cost it first by making that statement.
Yes,
he cost it. The right way to go.
Yes. You know you are not yet out of the club. You know you are not yet one step away from the club. In your first day, making statement as if you are the owner, you have all the keys, and you want them to come and beg you or to come and say, oh, almighty Rashford, please stay with us, and that cannot happen in this era. You understand? So I think him going out will be very good. I think he should find a very good club. I think AC Milan, they are coming for him. AC Milan wants him, and some Saudi Arabia teams still want him. So let's see whether he can at least find his feet. You understand, and also make do before the the Euros. You know, so at least he can get a call up by the national team. So I think it's a good transfer news for the Manchester United faithfuls, and let's see how it goes. All
right, let's give you more big stories making the rounds. Still talking Old Trafford, Manchester United and Tottenham exploring a loan deal for Paris Saint-Germain. Randall Kolo Muani, according to reports, the Frenchman joined the Champions League side from Eintracht Frankfurt in 2023 for £79 million, having scored 26 goals and assisted 17 in 50 matches. He had also starred for his national team at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, coming off the bench to score in the semi-final against Morocco before starting in the final versus Argentina. Things have not clicked for him at Paris Saint-Germain. However, with the forward enjoying a disappointing maiden campaign at the Parc des Princes, finding the net just 9 times in 40 games. This season, Kolo Muani's stock has dropped even further, with boss Luis Enrique limiting the 26-year-old to just 2 league starts so far this season. All right, moving on to other stories quickly as we look to give you, we've got a story coming from Italy, the old lady of Turin. Yes, Juventus. Let's let you know that Manchester United have reportedly been offered Juventus' top scorer from last 3 seasons in exchange for Joshua Zirkzee. The Italian giants appear willing to hand over 24-year-old Dusan Vlahovic, who they signed for £62 million from Fiorentina in January 2022 for 4-goal man Zirkzee. Zirkzee has had a tough start at Old Trafford since signing from Bologna for £36.5 million and was reportedly reduced to tears after being sarcastically jeered cheered off by United fans. A quick one, Juve, the old lady of Turin, offering Man U Vlahovic, who has been on fire for them in the last 3 seasons, for Zexi. What does that tell us? And looking at Kolo Muani, Man U and Tottenham going for that same player. Do you think there's something amazing about Zexi that people are seeing that is making them want to drop someone who has been consistent for 3 seasons for the old lady of Turin?
Yes, if you check the stats, Joshua Zirkzee, before he came to Manchester United, he was actually doing very, very well in Bologna, you understand, under Thiago Motta, you understand? Yeah. Yes, and now Thiago Motta is in Juventus, and it's only clear to see that, yes, he wants a player that actually did well with him, you understand, in Bologna to come to Juventus and play with him. And if you check the stats for, what's his name, for Vlahovic, you understand, Duvan, Vlahovic, you understand, he's actually a poacher, you understand, he's actually a goal poacher. But if you check out the system of Thiago Motta likes his striker to be able to play with, you understand, the midfield and also the defense, you understand. And Vlahovic is like a top 9, you understand, he's like a standing 9. He knows how to stand there and, you know, wait on the ball, you understand, and you know, draw pressure there. And the style of play of Thiago Motta is actually different, you understand. He needs a striker that can come into the middle, you understand, play with the players, you understand, then create chances. And Vlahovic is not something, he's not a player that's going to give him that. But Zirkzee is a player that's going to do that, because Zirkzee knows how to play with his feet, you understand. Zirkzee knows how to play with his feet. Zirkzee knows how to play with the wing. And given the fact that what's his name, Thiago Motta loves to play with a double false 9, you understand, and what they call it, Vlahovic is not that fast, you understand, like Zirkzee. Zirkzee was one of, Zirkzee and Højlund were one of the top star players at the Serie A for the last 2 seasons. One for Atlanta and one for Bologna. So it's only clear to see that what they call it, Thiago Motta wants him back at Juve, and it will be a very, very, very good signing for them. But I don't think Manchester United will let him go. Then talking about what they call it, Kwame Mono from PSG, I think he hasn't found his ground. You know, after the departure of Kylian Mbappe from PSG, they have been looking for that star man, that will slot in into that shoes of Kylian Mbappe and actually come up with the goods for them. And it has been really, really hard. And given the fact that the wages that he's been receiving in that club, and Luis Enrique doesn't actually feel that he's that kind of player that can, bring in or come in with the goals, you understand, during the season. So I think he's opting out for a new player, you understand, a new fresh blood, you understand, somebody that can bring more enthusiasm to the team and, bring a new drive to the team. And I think them going for what's his name? What they call it? Zirkzee. It's not actually a shocker to me, because Zirkzee is actually a very good player. But I'm very, very sure that Ruben Amorim will not let Zirkzee go, because Zirkzee is a player that knows how to give 101%. If you give him time, you understand, and just time, that's what he needs. Yeah.
All right, let's take you to this. It was the Italian Super Cup final. Tammy Abraham was at his best. Let's go for a very quick break. When we return, we'll talk about that, and we'll be making a substitution afterwards. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take you to this hour where the Italian Super Cup final was at its best, and one man who watched that game keenly is right here in the live studio. He's not a person but David a long time to help us look at that match in close perspective. But just to let you know that a goal in added time from Tammy Abraham completed a stunning comeback for AC Milan, who won the Italian Super Cup with a dramatic 3-2 victory over city rivals Inter Milan in Monday's final in Riyadh. after going 2 goals down early in the game. The win denied Inter what would have been an unprecedented 4th straight Super Cup trophy and allowed Milan to equal Inter as a haul of 8 wins in the competition, with the new manager Sergio Conceição lifting a trophy in his 2nd game in charge. The game was preceded by a spectacular light show at the King's Road University Stadium, but the match only really sparked into life in the final seconds of the opening half, when Mehdi Taremi teed up Lautaro Martinez with a pass across the box, and the forward used some neat footwork to deceive Malik Tuel before firing a low shot through the legs of Theo Hernandez, which beat Michael Magnan at the near post. 2 minutes after the interval, Inter continued where they had let off. Stefan De Vrij played a long ball over the top, which Terem controlled beautifully, and he drilled his shot into the bottom corner to double the advantage. Milan responded by sending on Rafael Leo, who immediately won the free kick just outside the area, which Hernandez coiled low around the wall, and the ball crept just inside the post to reopen the tie, and the rejuvenated Milan pushed for an equalizer, and Tijani had a shot blocked by face of Alessandro Bastoni, and the Inter goalkeeper Jan Sommer pulled off a fine save from an Alvaro Morata header. Inter then had a chance to restore their 2-goal advantage, but Carlos Augusto's header from close range came off the upright and into the arms of the goalkeeper on the goal line. But Milan found the equalizer with 10 minutes remaining. Christian Pulisic, the American, surrounded by 3 Inter players, controlled the cross from Hernandez and steered his shot into the far corner, and it looked like the tie would be decided by shootout with no extra time to be played. Milan, however, continued to press, and they were rewarded when Leo pulled the ball back across the goal, and Tammy Abraham, the English Nigerian born player, another substitute, was there for the simplest tap-ins to break the heart of Milan. Oh boy.
Massive game. Massive game. I have to give kudos to Joao Conceição, you understand? Yes. The new coach of AC Milan, you understand? Yeah. Coming in from Porto, you understand? This is 2 games out of 2 now. He has won the 2 games, and those 2 games are against,
very important games.
Very big games. The first game was against Juve, you understand? In their league, you understand? He won that game, and this game against what do you call it? Inter Milan. It was super.
Rivals of both teams in the same city.
It was superb to watch. I think Joao Conceição is in my own opinion, I think he's one of the best coaches, you understand, from the Portuguese, you understand, side. The man, he's actually spot on. He knows what to do, you understand. I love the fact that he left the likes of Tammy Abraham and Leo, you understand, out, you understand, yes. You know, to give the likes of what's his name, of Temari and also Pulisic, you understand, a chance to shine. And my standout player for the match, without a doubt, will be Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez was absolutely fantastic. He was the captain of that day, you understand. So it was absolutely fantastic. I think the free kick for him scoring, I think it was just a topping of
the icing on the cake.
Yes, of what he had done in the match, you understand. If you check out the first half, Milan was not actually in the game. You understand? AC Milan was not actually in the game. Inter dominated the first half. You understand? They had the first goal in the first half, and in the beginning of second half they had another goal. You understand? Then all of a sudden, with 1 or 2, slight changes and slight twitching, the game switched off from 56 minutes. Before the free kick incident, the tempo of the game changed. You understand? I could see Joao Conceição, shouting on the touchline. You understand? Gingering the players. Giving them that morale that they needed, and the fans too were absolutely loving it. And they were 2 goals down, mind you, at that time. You understand? So the mood of the game changed at that particular instance after that free kick. Then the American, that's Pulisic was absolutely amazing in this game. Was absolutely amazing. I think his game stepped up in the second half immediately after that free kick. You understand? And it was nice to see. I think Milan, they are getting in. They are getting their groove, and it's absolutely beautiful to see. Very, very beautiful game. Yeah.
All right, good to see a very traditional team get back on its feet. Let's give you one tennis story, as we call it a wrap. We're looking at Australian Open as Arina Sabalenka has been photographed sharing some tender moments with her boyfriend Georgios Frangoulis on court in Melbourne as she aims to win her third straight Australian Open, the world #1, and her superfood entrepreneurial partner shared the case and looked assaulted with each other as the star had a practice session at Melbourne Park on Tuesday. Soon after, she sparked speculations they are engaged. With a post on Instagram, Sabalenka treated her followers to a series of pictures of her Frangoulis, with one featuring a shot to her wearing a gold ring with a huge gemstone. All right, on that very lovely and love note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport. Also, big thank you to David Allentime.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. Yeah.
All right, so that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition. I am Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports.